Hello, hello, hello. How are y'all today, guys? Earlier today, I did our Floral One Flower of the Month. So I decided to share with you our level 2 and our Elite Flower of the Month club that we do once a month. So let's review a little bit of what a Flower Month is. We do a Flower of the Month each month for our employees and some community members, and they pay a set fee for those flowers for the whole year, and they get an arrangement every month. Now, we don't have a set date during that month. So for example, in February we're doing the beginning of February. In January it was like mid-January. We just kind of work it around our schedule and what events we're doing and flowers and all those different things we do, and also other events we do and other contests we do as being an ag teacher. But anyways, so this is our level 2. This is a beautiful red vase. I'm not really sure what type of vase this is. I'm sure some of y'all could tell me. But it's a beautiful red vase that I put water in. It's from our wholesale florist in Heels. I'm not Heels, which is in Longview, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if they ship. But you can more than welcome call them, and if you need some contact information for them, you can just reach out to me and let me know. But what we did was, it's kind of got a big mouth on it, a thinner throat but a bigger mouth to it, and then a real big belly to it that holds a lot of water reservoir. So what we did this time was we did a grid on top of it, that we did 4 pieces of tape, 2 going one way and 2 going the other way, that made a grid. You probably won't be able to tell. Oh, I just spilled water everywhere. You probably won't be able to tell this just looking at it, but we did it with clear tape. And one reason I do it with clear tape on clear bases for sure, which is this clear, well, that's not clear, this clear anchor tape right here. One reason I do it with that is it's not 100% waterproof, but I run it across and then I run a strip of tape all the way around it. And if that strip of tape kind of comes down, you can't see it on a clear base. That's what I really like about this clear tape, using it. But you very easily could do it with just plain old anchor tape as well. That's waterproof, and do the same thing. Just make sure you really cover your mechanics. So I'm working with teenagers a lot, well, all the time, in my floral design class. So it's better to do stuff that we don't have to worry about covering up mechanics as much, because sometimes they're not going to be able to do that. So this is our Floral 2 Flower of the Month. So we do about 30-ish of these every month, and we sold them for a set price. This arrangement has higher quality flowers in it, a little bit more in it. Sometimes they're larger, sometimes they're just about the same size, but they're just got more flowers in them, they're fuller, they're a little bit better. So for this particular arrangement, I have 4 different types of greenery in it. I have a couple pieces of Salal or lemon leaf, some variegated Pittosporum, some of my favorite greenery, seeded uke with lots of seeds on it. I really like the seeds on it this time. And then I have 2 pieces of leather leaf. So not a ton of greenery, but 4 different types. And then I have a little bit of wax flower for our filler flower, which is my all-time favorite filler flower. I have 1 snapdragon as a line flower in this arrangement. I have 1 stem of pink lilies. I have a few pieces of bear grass. Also, you can use lemongrass for this thing we're going to do as well. I like lemongrass better, but bear grass was on sale, so that's what I got. Then I have 3 pink carnations, and then I have a couple ribbons we're going to make bows out of and put in it. So cheetah and this pink silk ribbon. And then I have a couple red sparkly heart picks, which are from the Dollar Tree, and they come in a pack of 7 for $1.25. So there's that. So before we get going, this vase cost about $3 from our wholesaler. You buy it in a case. I'm sure you can buy it individually, but we buy it in a case because we use a lot of them. So anyways, and they come in cases of 12. So remember that when you're ordering these. Okay, so where I like to start with, in most of my arrangements, is with the greenery. So I'm going to start with the cheapest base greenery that we use. And start with it, okay? So I really am this is going to be pretty much a one-sided arrangement. So I'm going to stick my leather leaf. I'm actually going to cut this into 2 pieces. I'm going to stick my leather leaf down into the grid, okay? And that grid really helps hold it where you want it to stay, okay? So I am using a floral knife I don't always use a floral knife, but I like to use floral knives. Lots of my level 2 kids use floral knives. I prefer them to because that's more industry standards. But if yours aren't using it, it's not the end of the world. It's just a personal preference of mine. So we're going to savor these stems when we make a bow here in a little bit. Okay, I'm going to cut this one in half again. So I have a little bit more leather leaf to work with. It's very important to remember not to get tons of greenery down in the water, because that actually kind of ruins your water. It makes it a little bit grow like fungus and allergy and stuff, algae, to help it last longer. We don't want to do that. So anyways, and if at any point my air conditioner goes on and off all the time, and so it may be harder to hear me, I'm sorry about that. We're going to work this out as we keep these going. Okay, so my next greenery I'm going to come in with is going to be my salal, or my lemon leaf. These are salal tips, is what they call them, if you order them from a wholesaler. And sometimes you got to get the good old snips out for these wood-stemmed greeneries. So, just kind of cut your stems equally up in here and get your salal in there. So this one's kind of let it hang out the front a little bit. That's kind of a personal preference. If you like that look, I think it's kind of pretty. That's kind of up to you. Okay, so now I'm going to come back with my Pittosporum next. So I can actually get a couple good usable pieces out of this. So just be very conservative when you're cutting it. So see, like I'm going to cut right there, and I'm going to cut a little bit further down about right here. Now, that sometimes you'll get this blunt end on there, and some people don't like that. So like the blunt end pieces, I normally put in the back of an arrangement, or teach my students to put in the back of an arrangement. And my pretty top pieces, I put more in the front focal piece. So see the prettier tops here, the blunt one's back here. So I have a little bit more of this left. And I think I can get 3 cuts out of this one. Yeah, totally can. So I'm going to stick a couple more of these in here. So a little trick of the trade, if you are a floral teacher that just got started in floral design, and you have 2 levels of floral, flower of the month, I always make all my level 1s first, and then whatever's left over on top of what I ordered for floral 2, I use for them too. So we have a little bit of extra greenery left over, so I'm going to be able to use that for these particular arrangements as well. So I got the greenery in here. It's just a good mass full of greenery. It's not super tall. This is going to be a little bit lower arrangement. Some of our arrangements get really big and tall. Oh, I didn't get all my greenery in here. Sorry. Actually, I'm going to wait till the end to do my seeded eucalyptus and kind of use it as a filler. Okay, so my next thing I'm going to come in with is I like to start with a line flower sometimes to kind of free it up. So I'm going to peel all these ugly foliages off of here, just like that. And so this is kind of a little guy. So work with what you get from the floors. Sometimes you get a lot more beefier stuff than other stuff. So this line flower I don't particularly want just sticking straight up in the air in this particular, like just way up here in this particular arrangement, because this arrangement's not going to be as tall and huge as some of the arrangements we've done in the past. So I got my line flower sticking up in the middle. Now, Snapdragon, somebody go help me out. Is this part of the asparagus family? Because when you cut it, it smells like asparagus. It also grows a head kind of like asparagus. So y'all help me out. Some people that are a little bit smarter on that stuff than I am. I'm not like a botanist, I guess you would say, or a horticulturalist. I just love making flower arrangements, and I love flowers and everything like that. So now this is a pink lily. These will open up as it gets warmer in their environment, or they get a little bit aged after they've been cut. So these are fairly fresh cut lilies to be this closed up. So you can do a few different things with lilies. You can leave them all in one stem and stick them straight down in there just like this. So I will normally start with that method with lilies and just kind of see where it takes me. And after I stick it down there, if I don't like that, I will change it up some. So I just stuck all these down in here. I'm not in love with the way that looks. Okay, so I'm gonna come back with my snips and snip this guy off right there, okay? Because I felt like there was a little bit much just sticking out right there, right in front of that line flower. So I snipped these guys off. Now these will open up. Always use all your buds. Some of my worst mistakes that kids make is not to use all the buds. So I crammed these two little guys right down here. They will eventually open. This one's probably going to open before we deliver it on Monday. So I like to make these Floral 2 ones about 3 days in advance and deliver them after they sit in the cooler a little bit longer, if we have that opportunity. Okay, my next flower is a mass flower, and it is a pink, beautiful carnation. These are just beautiful Pepto-Bismol pink. They actually kind of match my shirt. I kind of love them. But lots of the time you get carnations in that are not opened up very well, especially if they're younger. But you can just open them up real easy. So it's real simple. You just kind of force them open with your fingers, like this. Okay, and then so all of a sudden we have this really beautiful opened up mass flower. It's a very affordable, economical decision to use in floral arrangements. So I love carnations. Lots of designers sometimes don't like carnations because they say they look cheaper. Yes, they are cheaper. But at the same time, with the same token, they are way beautiful for the price. So carnations are normally about 60 to 80 cents a stem, and that sounds expensive, but compared to a rose, it's $1.45 and up a stem. That's a good thing to think. Like a bundle of lilies, that's 20. I think it's 10 lilies in a bundle are like $26. So you have to think about. But these are very economical from the flower standpoint. Okay, so I'm going to start with one a little bit longer, and I'm going to stick it kind of back here by my carnation. Okay, these will be the star of the show for a little bit until we get our other flowers opened up in this arrangement. Okay, so I also know this arrangement's going to have a bow. So I need to leave a spot for that. So some of y'all may be watching this like he's skipping the whole front of that arrangement. I'm not, because I know there's going to be a bow there. Now, some people really get hung up on taking all these leaves off. That's a good practice to teach your Floral 1 students, and a good practice, but it's just not feasible to do that when you're making multiple of the exact same arrangement. You're going through tons and tons of flowers a day. It's kind of a waste of time. But if you have time to do that, you should definitely do that. Okay, so I'm going to stick one right down there in the front, just like that. Super, super cute. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and tell you what we're going to do with this bear grass. I'm going to move this arrangement kind of out of the way for just a second. And my platform, which is just a upside down flower tub that I've soaked flowers in, works really well. So if that's what you want to do this in, super easy. Okay, so these are bear grass. Bear grass is like lily grass, but a thinner blade, and they're kind of sharp sometimes depending on the time of year you get them. So what I'm going to do is we're going to attempt to make a heart out of bear grass. I will tell you right now that I am not very good at these. So what I do is I split them in half. So I have 2 in this hand and 3 in this hand. I have 3 this way and 3 this way, and I put them pretty side to pretty side or face to face like this. Okay. Then I'm going to pull this around and make a loop on this side. And pull this around and make a loop on this side. Now, your heart may look a little deformed, like, oh, you can only see my face, but it looks a little bit deformed. You know, yeah, it's not gonna be perfect, people. One reason is it's grass, so it takes a little bit more of imagination. So here I am, and I didn't peel my tape off of here. Oh, here we are. To do this. Now, I've done these with wire before. It does not work as well as if you do it with tape on grass. On this grass, on bear grass, 100%. I'm not a big fan of wiring bear grass because it doesn't hold your shape. Okay, so there's our little heart. Okay, and it's going to be kind of abstract-y looking because one reason is it's floral, so it's going to be a little bit more abstract. So I'm going to cut that down. I'm going to bring my arrangement back up here, And I'm gonna put this kind of in the back behind my lilies. Now, after you get it down in the hole, and I'm having a hard time seeing a spot in my grid to get it in because I filled this up with greenery so well that I have to, there we go. Okay, so look, it's a little bit more abstract looking out the back. You probably can't really see it, but see it's got a little heart right there, but it's super cute. Okay, so that's in there. That was a lot of work. The next thing I'm gonna bring in is my wax flower. Wax flower comes in white and pink and maybe a few other colors. I really love a pink wax flower. The reason I like pink wax flower is it's just very romantic, and I really like it for almost all occasions. So I'm going to use a whole stem of wax flower in this arrangement. Okay. Another cool thing about wax flower, like you can even use these little pieces, and wax flower has a real lemony smell. So it's just really, really, really pretty to use, and I really like using it. Okay, so I'm going to start kind of back here in the back, and start just filling in my gaps with a little bit of wax flower. Okay? So the best thing to remember with flower arrangements is to trust the process. More of my students, and even me sometimes, get amped up and like, oh, it looks like crap. Oh, I hate this. It's just terrible. And you see everything you hate about it before you actually give it a chance. Okay? So my best advice to you on a floral arrangement is to just stick with it until you get it all filled in. Now, sometimes wax flower will kind of steal the show a little bit. So you've got to be a little bit careful with that. So be careful with that, okay? But it's actually just a really good, filler. Oh, my hand, I can smell the lemons. Woo! Lemony smell. But it's just beautiful. And even like the little tufts that don't have any flowers on them, look like little pine trees. I love it. Or rosemary. Okay, so there we go. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I have these little heart picks. I'm going to wait for these till the end. But I'm going to make a bow for this arrangement. Oh, actually, just forgot. I have a little bit of seeded euc, so I'm going to cut just a couple little pieces off this. And one thing good about seeded eucalyptus is it adds another texture in that kind of acts like a filler flower if you need it to. Okay, so that's just a really cool thing about seeded eucalyptus, is it adds another texture that also fills in space, but it also is a beautiful greenery. Okay, there we go. So there's that. So now I'm going to make the bow next, and I'm going to set this off to the side real quick. I'm going to make the bow next because I need to make sure that I have the bow where I want it. Okay, so this pink lace ribbon is wired edge. I always use wired edge ribbon. Some people don't do that. I really prefer it. It was $3 at Dollar Tree in the plus section, and it is 15 yards. So 15 times 3 is 45 feet. That's quite a bit of ribbon for $3, and it's just really romantic and pretty. And then this is 10 yards of 1.5" cheetah print ribbon that I got from Craft Outlet. Craft Outlet is one of my favorite places to order ribbon from because they have so much to choose from and they carry it almost year round. Now, if you're going to go order Valentine ribbon right now, you're not going to get it from Craft Outlet. And if you're going to go order Christmas ribbon, like the week before Christmas, you're not going to get it. So just remember these things. They don't charge tax. You get free shipping over $69, I think. So super easy to do. So I'm going to pull me a piece of wire over here, and I'm going to get me a couple pieces of ribbon. I'm going to cut me about, oh, I don't know, a 2.5-ish foot piece of the pink. And if you're wondering, I'm using dull scissors again because that's all I can ever seem to find. And then I'm going to cut me about a 1.5 foot piece of cheetah ribbon. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to show you all how I make a double loop bow that has, not a double loop, a double ribbon bow that has about 3 loops in it, okay? So, the first thing you do is you come down about 4 inches and you pinch. Okay, then you twist the long end and you make a loop. About like that. And then you twist the long end again and you make a second loop. Just like that. Okay, so there you go. You've got a 2-loop bow so far. You can tie this off, stick it in any arrangement. And if you watched our floral one, this is what we made. Really simple, really easy. But I want these to be a little bit more designer and a little bit more beautiful than our level 1 because people pay a little more money for these. So I'm going to pick this back up with my tail starting at the opposite. I ended with my tail at the bottom. I'm going to start with my second tail, my second ribbon, with my tail coming out the top, the opposite of what I did. And you can make these in front of you like this. I have learned to make them like this so kids can watch me do it. Then I'm going to twist the long piece and make 1 loop that's a little bit smaller than the other 2 loops, like that. And I'm going to let my tail stick up just like this. So now we have a 3-loop bow with 2 different ribbons. Now, I'm going to bring in my wire, just like this. This is a 22, I think. I'm not real sure. I think it's 22 gauge. I'm going to run it around my ribbon and twist 3 times really tightly, okay? And so I have 2 little tails of wire hanging off. The next step I do is I decide to fluff my ribbon. So, fluff my bows, I'm sorry. So, that's one of the most important and underrated parts of making a bow. Now, as you can tell, not all 4 of my tails are going down. I have 2 going up and 2 going down because I think that looks better than them all going down. Because I don't like bows to look like you tied your shoes, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim. This is one reason my scissors are dull, is because I do this and so do kids. I'm going to trim these tails on the wire just a little bit, and then I'm going to push a stem of leftover from the leather leaf up all the way as far as I can, and I'm going to wire it on there relatively tight, because I want it to stay just like that, okay? So, after you get that done, like that, I'm going to bring my arrangement back up here to the forefront of where you can see. And the bow is going to go in this general area. As you probably are noticing, there is a hole right here. And you are like, ooh, is he going to leave it there? No, he's not. But you could technically send this out, and it's actually okay. There's just a hole here. Because when this lily opens up and this lily opens up, it's going to fill these holes. But as of right now, I would not want to send this out of my shop because it's not finished looking. So now I'm going to cut my stem of my ribbon just a little bit. And then I'm going to stick my bow right down, and oh, there we go, right down in the front, just like that. Now, you can tie a bow on your, base if you wanted to, or you can do what I just did and stick it down in the base. So I'm going to crinkle my tails, I think, because I think that'll look really pretty. So I'm just going to crinkle my tails back and forth. I don't crinkle my tails very much, but I'm going to do it in this particular arrangement because I think it'll kind of give it a little bit more depth and a little bit more texture compared to not crinkling the tails. Okay, so there you go. The ribbon's in there, super cute. My last step is, for this arrangement, is to stick these little red hearts in here. One reason I went with red hearts instead of pink hearts, you got a lot of pink going on here, and some of them we send out will have red ribbons in them instead of pink ribbons, and some will have red carnations instead of pink carnations, but I really like the pink with the red base, and that's really pretty. But I'm going to stick just a couple little sparkly hearts right down in, if I can find a hole, right down in these arrangements, just like that, to kind of drive the theme home so we're not confused on what this is. So, like I said, this is our level 2 flower arrangement. I'm gonna move it just a little bit closer to y'all. Our level 2 flower arrangement we do for flower of the month. It has pink lilies in it, pink carnations, waxflower, beargrass, salal, pittosporum, a little bit of leatherleaf, some seeded eucalyptus, and one snapdragon. It has 2 sparkly heart picks from the Dollar Tree and a bow we made for ourselves. So if we were to add this up, the vase is at $3. We have $3 worth of carnations in here. That's $6. We have 1 stem of lilies in here. That was $26 a piece. They're $2.60 each. So that's $3 more. That's $9. Then we have about, I would say about $3 worth of greenery. So we're at $12. Your snapdragon's about 50 cents, so $12.50. I would say we have about $1.50 worth of ribbon here. So that's, what is that? $13, $14. And then we have 2 of the 7-pack of $1.25, so we're gonna say 75 cents. So we're right at $14.75, $15, okay? Out the door. That's normally what most of our flower of the months run for level 2. Some of them run around $6 and $7. Some of them run $25, depending on what happens. Our fall one we did in trucks, in glass trucks, and they were a lot more expensive because the bases were $8 to begin with. But I like to do unique designs and do fun things with our stuff for our club members. So anyways, if you have any questions about how we do our level 1 and our level 2 floral clubs, our flower clubs, please let me know. If I need to break down what went into this arrangement a little bit more, also let me know. And you can also check me out on my YouTube channel that I just started a couple days ago. It has 1 video on it so far that I did not preview on Facebook, and it's called Straight Dude Designs is the name of my YouTube channel, and it has all kinds of floral arrangements that I do. And if you're on YouTube watching this at a later date, you can check out my Facebook page, Designed by Cyrus, or you can check out my personal Facebook page, Cy Ragsdale, C-Y, and then Ragsdale. And I share stuff from our local FFA chapter and our floral department at our school district. I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I hope y'all really liked this arrangement that was super, super simple. And I think it's a fun little arrangement that didn't take very long, and it's really good for the kids to learn how to grid and use use water in their arrangements and still have their arrangements hold where they want them to hold. So I hope you'll have a great day and a blessed holiday season this Valentine's Day, and thank you so much for watching.